in regards to 24/7's ranking at this point. It's a top 10 class at number 9 overall. You've got 9 early enrollees who are already practicing or set to go in spring practice with 9 4-stars. So your thoughts about those firm commits right now, and if you can highlight some of your favorites at this point.
One thing with A&M this year is there are 9 already on campus who enrolled early in January, and that's the most I can ever remember. A lot of the guys at the very top of A&M's list, 4 of those top 5 recruits on the 24/7 are already on campus. The biggest one that jumps out right off the bat is Kellen Mond, quarterback from IMG Academy in Florida. He was the guy who was committed to Baylor before Art Miles got run out of town. And, he's on next fall, their 4th year in a row. So Mondo definitely, along with a couple of guys that are already here on campus, and redshirt freshman Nick Starkel, as well as senior Jake Hubenak, who's seen kind of spot duty over. Mond may be the flashiest just because he's the stud quarterback commit, always salvate, but I think the biggest potential impact in this class for A&M is the linebackers. That's the position really struggled with for seasons. The defense has been the weakness of the team, and for the most part, the linebackers have been the weakness of the defense. So when you bring in Anthony Hines, who's one of the top linebackers in the country, and then you supplement that with Santino Martial, who's also from IMG out in Florida, as well as Devondre Johnson, it's really about as good as A&M has had. They started doing recruiting rankings. So those guys, all 3 ready to come in and contribute right away, because as much as A&M has numbers in linebacker, they really showed once again last year that group of linebackers could really be back at this class and really say that was the most pivotal point. Next on the list is probably wide receiver, and which is strange to say because A&M has spent 5 years in the SEC where you always loaded at wide receiver. You started off with Mike Evans and Ryan Swope, and have had guys and Ricky Seals-Jones and Christian Kirk, Speedy Noyle. But going into 2017, A&M loses virtually from their receiving core outside of Christian Kirk. I think the number was, if you take away Kirk, 9 cumulative turning on that receiving core. So there's definitely a lot of room for freshmen to come in, and if they're ready to play, to get on the field right away. Guys like Jamon Osborne, who is, once again, another guy from IMG Academy, along with Kellen Mond and Santino Martial, and along with Hezekiah Jones.
Robert Behrens joining us from Good Bull Hunting, a Texas A&M platform on the SB Nation website. Robert, so it's going to be a great class. It's going to be a top 10 level class, but it could be even better maybe with some other guys that are on the fence that have Texas A&M on the short list. Are there 1 or 2, 3 guys out there that you would really love to bring in the next week?
I mean, I would say the top of my list would be Levi Jones, and that would be just another guy to bring in and solidify that linebacker core, as well as Travis Etienne out of Louisiana. I think it'll be hard to pry away from LSU, but was an A&M commit, since decommitted, and has kept A&M in the running. So I think they're still on the table. There's actually several guys who A&M is standing for coming down the stretch, and they're all on defensive line. We've got 2 defensive, Legarion Carson and Brian Jones, and 2 defensive tackles in Corey Bethley and Joshua Rogers. Especially with A&M losing Myles Garrett and Deshaun Hall, they're 2 from last season. They're still there, and they've already got several guys as well. As we've seen in the SEC, it's not just about having those top guys that are in a starting lineup, it's about having 2 and 3 deep so that when a guy goes down or, a guy needs to come out for a few plays, you don't have a huge drop off. Because I think that with A&M, and maybe their biggest pitfall has been just not having the depth that an A&M or that a Alabama or an LSU might have. So while the stars at the top and they have the guys that you see getting drafted on the first day, don't have the depth that some of those other SEC schools have. And with this class being 20 and they have room for several more, that's what a lot of people are talking about. It's just really being a depth.
Robert, it's definitely amazing when you think about Texas high school football talent, but then you see it displayed in a top 10 recruiting class, and you look through what is now 26 commits, including the early enrollees and the hard commits, 26 players there. I see a sprinkling of Florida and Louisiana, but it's basically Texas. Texas probably, I didn't count it up, but is in the high teens, definitely out of these 26 hard commits and early enrollees. So nothing wrong with Texas high school football these days.
Yeah, absolutely not. And yeah, it's 19 of those 26 commits right now are from the state of Texas, which is a little bit of a departure for A&M because you've seen them kind of go out and recruit. You had Kyle Allen and Christian Kirk both coming out of Arizona. There was the well-documented Tate Martell recruitment. So it seems like maybe they are focusing a little bit more back on the state of Texas.
Alabama looking for a challenger in the SEC Western Division. LSU, Auburn, Texas A&M have taken their shots in recent years. There doesn't appear to be one right now. Maybe Texas A&M with these kind of recruiting classes can be a challenger here in the near future under Kevin Sumlin. Robert Behrens from Good Bull Hunting on the Texas A&M platform for Texas A&M on the SB Nation platform, joining us and going to be one of our contributors on our big Wednesday night recruiting special. So join us at 8 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube and on Facebook Live. Robert, we appreciate the time.